Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Files on OMS TV. This is the premier YouTube channel for Original Man Scientific. I am your host, Tariq Muhammad, aka Magna Cardiac, the Chief Operating Officer of Original Man Scientific. I am joined by my illustrious, magnificent, amazing,
Keep the
amazing,
adjectives going, bro. Just keep them going. Roll them out. Just roll them out.
amazing, sufficient, wonderful. No, the whole nine. Any good adjective you see in the dictionary, that's what this brother is. My co-host, bro.
What up, what up, what up? Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you, Tariq, for that awesome introduction. Yes, my name is Jabril Muhammad, Director of Engineering at Original Man Scientific, a.k.a. Jabrillion Engineer. And for those who follow me on social media, I did change my handle. It's at Jabrillion_engineer, J.A. Brilliant_engineer. We have an awesome show this evening. We have a fellow Philadelphia native and influencer and operator in the area, Aliyah Elijah. I'm going to go through and just read her bio, and then we're going to get right into it. And just like that, it's also short and sweet, so be able to get into it.
Yes, thank God.
Let me pull it up really quickly. Uh-oh.
You can't find it, I can see it.
No, I got it. All right. So, Aliyah Elijah recently graduated from Millersville University with her Bachelor's of Arts in Educational Studies and a minor in STEM. She is currently working towards her Master's of Science in Technology and Innovation in Education. She's currently the creator and director of the STEMLand Science Foundation, which provides free STEM workshops to underprivileged communities. And again, yes, she is from Philadelphia, uptown specifically. And with that, let's get into it. Aliyah?
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing great. Thank you.
Cool. Should I introduce myself?
Yeah, just go into I guess your background, kind of really what got you into STEM education and the interest there.
Cool. Well, I first got introduced to STEM while I was in college. I was sitting in a college classroom, and actually a volunteer came in. This is when the minors, it became a minor, like officially. Someone came into the classroom and was like, "Hey, so we have this STEM minor. It's new. Would you guys like to join it? STEM means science, technology, engineering, mathematics." I'm like, science? Oh, like, I don't know about that. I don't have any science background. I don't know. It sounds a little hard. Then she kept explaining it to me, and I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. So I'm like, hey, let's do it. So I joined the minor. I started taking classes, and then I started working at Girl Scouts in the summer of 2016. I believe, and I went around to different recreation centers in Philly, like South Philly, West Philly, like all around the city, and I did STEM workshops. And I realized, like, as I was doing the workshops, that like our kids just didn't know what STEM was. They have never been introduced to it. They was like, "What's STEM? I don't want to do this. This is boring," and blah blah blah. So I was like, yeah, I think I should. How can I like get this into our city hands, like where we really need it? So that's how I got introduced to it. So, and I started STEMLand. So.
Nice.
Okay. So what? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, so I guess just to kick off from there, I found it very interesting that you had the STEM and education combo. So, like, just staying in that vein. So, what does education mean to you, and how does it extend past formal education, like academia, what you learn in books, what you learn in the classroom?
So, like, every time I think about this question, I get a new answer because it's just so much that I could say about it. Like, one thing I would say is like that when I was in school, I didn't really. I'm not gonna say I didn't pay attention, but it was hard for me to learn because I was a visual learning or I like to touch. Like, I'm real hands-on with things, so it was easy for me to get lost because I just, if you stand up there and write on the board, it's easier for me to get lost. I'm like, what is going on? So when I just think about education and teaching, I think about kids and how when I come into a classroom, what do I need to teach? So basically, like, some kids have different backgrounds. They come into the classroom and they're like stressed out. They didn't eat the night before, or they they couldn't take a shower, they couldn't brush their teeth. So when it comes to the classroom, learning is probably not the first thing that's going to be on their mind. They don't want to learn. They're just here because they have to come here every day. The parents have to go to work. So as a teacher, I just think of it as a caring and more of a connection between an adult and a child. I just try to stray away from just standing in front of a board and teaching the classroom. Like, that's why I really like STEM, because it's not like a grade. It's not like, oh, you did an A, you did a B, C. It's not a grade. It's literally just if you do it and you complete it, then you succeeded. So that's.
And you mentioned a crucial word. You said connection.
Yeah.
So why is STEM so crucial to the success of underprivileged communities, particularly the youth?
I would say because, like, the world we live in a technology world. Like, everything is on their phones, everything. We can access everything literally from our phones and our iPads. You see all kids on iPads. And I would say in the next 50 to 100 years, like, technology is going to take over the world. We're literally going to have less jobs because robots are going to start just taking over people's jobs. So I just think that's just important for, like, underprivileged communities to start learning about engineering, because it's better if we make these things. We start making the newest phone, who knows, the newest cars, and I just want to see our people actually doing this type of stuff.
Right.
So.
Tariq?
I almost lost the question I was gonna ask. Y'all gotta bear with me. But so basically, you mentioned in your bio that you majored in education, correct?
Yes.
So before you got introduced to what STEM was and decided, okay, this is a path I can go down, what was your original goal with education?
I just wanted to be the best teacher that, like, I could be. Like, I knew I had a different connection when it comes to teaching and when it comes to kids. Like, every time I stepped foot in the classroom, I automatically made a connection with the kids. And, like, I don't know, I just feel like I have a duty, like I was put on this earth to teach or just to serve and just to help. So I think that is the characteristic of a good educator and I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's just good characteristic for teachers. So
I can definitely bear witness to, like, clicking automatically when you come into a room with students.
Yeah.
With me, it was really my height. Like, I'm like 6'5", so all the children were just, like, fascinated with the fact that they have a basketball player-like teacher. But
thank you for putting that like in there.
Basketball like. Hold on. Now we ain't never played, so don't talk right now.
I'm talking right now. I know I will cook you. I'm
just
saying.
Well, no. So, like, what do you think? What do you think it was about you that made that automatic connection?
I don't know. It's just, like, I just have a good heart. So I see that, like, if a child's acting up or, like, being bad, like, I don't think that they purposely, like, no one wakes up in the morning, especially a kid, and will say, like, hey, I'm going to this classroom, I'm going to disrespect this teacher and not listen to them. There's a reason why that child's acting like that. There's always a reason. So I feel like when you make a connection, that's when it clicks. Like, it's easier to teach someone when they have a connection with you. Like, this is how parents and a child, like, you learn from your parent because y'all have a connection and they're more willing to listen to you, and you show them that you care about them, and then they're like, oh, okay, maybe I should listen to them because they care about me. So it's a little easier to make the connection when you actually show that you care.
Well, what was the first age group you worked with? Was it elementary or high school, middle school?
I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a hard question. I've been, like, I know my first job ever was at a recreation center in Philly. Have you ever heard of Dorothy Manual Recreation Center in Uptown?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there. I was just a regular camp counselor, and it was like a 3rd grade to middle school. And honestly, that's when I knew, I'm like, yeah, 3rd grade's not for me. It was a little bit harder to make that connection because they were a little older and they had more, like, of a, I don't know. It was hard for me that year.
A little bit more attitude.
A little bit more attitude. The connection was, I couldn't get that connection because there was just a lot going on. So, but right now, I would say my favorite age group is kindergarten and first grade. That's what I like. That's what I'm into.
And you know, that's a prime age because they are extremely curious in that age range. Not to say that they're not curious in all the ages,
Yeah.
but for just those first couple of years of development, it's like a prime time for them to really soak up a lot of information.
Right.
And a lot of them can actually make a decision as to what they want to do with the rest of their lives at that time.
Exactly.
You know, so what do you think are some steps that parents who are struggling with, not particularly that age, but just any age in general, their children are struggling finding out what they're interested in or what they could see themselves doing? What are some things that you would do to nurture that out of them?
I don't know. I would say put them in everything or put them in a lot of stuff so you can see what they're interested in. Like, I'm not a parent, so I don't know, but like for my nephew, like when I look at my nephew, I bring all types of STEM stuff to his house so I can just see like, oh, if he likes it or not. And I see that he really likes it, and he won't like necessarily like the drone or like coding aspect of it, but he'll like something else. Like, oh, he'll like the chemicals or like mixing stuff together. I don't know, just like if I was to come up here, like I'll put my son in basketball or like put my daughter in basketball, I'll put him in sports, you know, different science workshops, different gymnastics, like all types of stuff, so you can see what they actually like to do. Because every child is different, you know, and it will change with time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So, you know, we're talking about teaching, we're talking about students, blackness. Why do you think it's so important for young black boys and girls to have a black male presence as a teacher, but not only that, a black-minded male? When I say black-minded, I mean there are those of us who are black skin-wise, but are not invested and interested in the advancement of a black agenda or interested in black issues and related solutions.
I like that, just skin wise.
Right. I don't know. I'll just like refer to myself because like I just know when I look at Michelle Obama, I'm like I could be her because not just because she's a black woman. I'm like, wow, there's a black woman that everyone knows, everyone looks up to, everyone's like she's smart, she's gorgeous, she does this, she does that. She's really the president. Like I don't know. It just makes you feel more comfortable with going through certain things. Like I feel more comfortable with actually learning science or maybe even becoming an engineer because I know that black people has done it before. So it's not impossible. Like it's actually possible because someone that looks like has actually done it. Um, I don't know.
No, absolutely, absolutely. You know, seeing yourself in a picture, right? And whether it's, you know, those who look like you, those who think like you,
Right.
you know, those in a similar socioeconomic status, those who dress like you. As long when you can see yourself there, it destroys the notion of impossibility, right? And you're able to really move and build yourself up to get over the fear, anxiety, whatever that you may have to try to get it done.
Right.
Getting back into STEMLand Science Foundation, tell us more about that. Some successes you all have had. Obviously, we know the audience, but the different spheres or facilities you worked out of, and like kind of what your plans are for the future.
Just to actually piggyback on what you were just saying, that it actually helps with the connection more because I can connect more with a black little girl because I am one or I was one.
Right.
It makes it a little bit easier. But to answer the question you just asked, so just what I do is I just go so daycares, recreation centers, they'll email me and ask me just to come to their classroom, and I'll just put on like a demonstration for that classroom. Very simple, like nothing too like nothing too hard because I'm not a scientist. I consider myself a STEMist, where I like learn the basics of science, engineering, math, and tech, and put it all in one, and take it to a level where a kindergartner can take this and possibly learn from this and use it every day in their lives. So that's basically what I do. Because I know some people are like, oh wait, she's not a scientist. How is she teaching STEM and all that? I should just to clear that up a little, just so people won't think that like, hey, she's teaching science or that's it. But another, what was the last?
So it was like, you know, just where you are now, like how you've been working, and what are your plans? Like, do you have plans to grow? In what ways? What are your goals for the organization?
So right now, I'm just looking for. I just need more volunteers, more people to actually join STEMLand to actually help me put on these workshops because I can't do it all alone. Especially if working 2 jobs and in grad school. So I'm just looking for people that can just help me out, specifically with a science background or engineering background or technology background or even a math background that could just, hey, like come to me and say, I want to put on a workshop or I want to help you with a workshop. I just want to come with you, maybe be the assistant because I know I have some like high schoolers, freshman year, even some middle schoolers contacting me just so they can volunteer. They can just come and like act as an assistant. And I've done that before, and it's actually really, really helpful to have them there. So I'm actually looking for volunteers. I still working on getting a solid team, but I do have a good team right now. It's me, it's my brother, working on getting my cousin on board, and it's also my uncle. That's how yeah, it's a family affair, but it's awesome because I love my family, and if I can get them involved and if they can help, then I'm always there to say, hey, let's do this. And also, my sister is actually helping me a lot. Also with like some PR and like responding to emails and stuff like that. But for the future, like I just want STEMLand to just be not just in Philly. I just want maybe if I can reach the entire tri-state area or even go farther than that and reach the all Black kids in the country. Just to introduce science or engineering to them, not even teach them or be their teacher, but just to introduce them and see that, hey, I'm a Black woman and I'm doing it, so can you.
But one more thing while I'm remembering before I turn it back over to Tariq. Definitely going to be calling you after this, not only because you're in Philly, but you have a team. I have a budding team here, and I think a lot of our interests and work aligns. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you talk about service with people, and people particularly in the nonprofit sector, there seems to be, or it comes off that there's maybe an aversion or a sense of disingenuity, if that's a word, with making money. Is there a reason that you chose nonprofit as opposed to for-profit?
Yes.
And, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have negative feelings toward for-profit, or is it just like you just wanted to do the nonprofit sector?
No, I honestly, like I didn't do it for money, so that's why I was like, let me be a nonprofit. I didn't do it to make money off of anyone. Like I literally did it so people could, hey, let's donate to STEMLand, and I'm going to put on or help. Our team is going to go to different neighborhoods in the city, and we're going to help them out.
Right.
And we're going to teach them what they need to know.
Absolutely.
Regardless of or outside of what they're actually learning in school. Because yes, we need to learn how to read, and we need to learn our letters, and we need all of that. We need to learn all of that. But outside of that, they also, I feel like it should be another.
Right. And one more thing, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation because I think when I think about for-profit, I think what happens is when you have these worthy causes and initiatives, profits can be used to be reinvested back into the organization. So, for example, for like things like real estate, materials, personnel, and basically expansion. So, being able to pay people incentivizes people to work with you and enlarges your team. Having access to real estate allows you to have a headquarters or somewhere that you can rent out, but you have the capital to do so. Better, different materials so you can do higher level, science experiments. So, when I say for profit, I'm not saying that necessarily it's hoarding, like you keep money for yourself and you make it for yourself, but it just allows for you to kind of level up in terms of like any organization.
Right.
And then like you think about co-ops. Co-ops, the whole goal of a co-op is to do collective, work for profits that reinvest back into the community that it's in. You see what I'm saying? And because the STEMLand Science Foundation is about investing in the community, funds help to get you from point A to point B, and really start to be able to make your mark and change the landscape and extend your reach. So that's really what I was thinking about in terms of having a for-profit side that helps to really invest in that manner back in the community.
You know what? I'm actually happy you said it, because I definitely want to get to a point. Like, I don't want you to think that. I want to get to a point where I can make enough profit where I can actually like pay people that come in.
Right.
Like, I don't want it just to be like, so many people call me crazy for having the workshops free, but I want to keep them free. But I want to make enough profit or enough donations or enough money coming into STEMLand to where I can keep them free and I can pay the workers.
Right.
So just because, like, you gotta get paid, you gotta pay your bills. So I don't want to.
That's what's up.
We were talking about that before the show. You got to pay the bills, and if you can do it with something you love, that's even better.
Yep.
All right, cool. So Jabril, I don't know if you realize this, but we made history with our guest tonight.
Did we?
Yes, we did. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just based on the people that we've had on the show, Sis is the only person directly involved in STEM that does not have a science background.
Wow.
I think that
if you just think about it, like everybody that we've had, that's in STEM, like actively working in STEM in some way, all of them actually have a science background.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
And of course, she's from Philly, so you know what I'm saying? We make history,
right,
with a place that's full of history. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know, man.
I mean, it don't got as much history as New York, but y'all.
You don't even live there. like
because I don't live there don't mean I still don't believe New York.
All good. Okay. All right. It's in New York. All right. All y'all New York, it's overcrowded. The cost of living is too high.
That's the biggest excuse people
It's just too much going on. I would never live there ever. I would do business there. I get in and get out.
It ain't crowded.
It's nowhere near as crowded as New York, bro. Especially New York City. Like, oh my God. Oh my Lord.
You're right.
Anyway, this is just a little context. Aliyah, we do this. This is part of the show. The banter.
Go on.
The banter. It's a must-have because it lightens it up. And then, for those because sometimes we can get a little into the weeds. So we've had shows that get highly, highly, highly technical.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes for some levity, you gotta like balance it out because people like I know sometimes for me, and I have a science background, I'll be in there like, whew. Like we had Dr. Wesley on the show. Bro.
Oh man. I think he's the only other. Like in terms of like the hard sciences like we're in.
Right.
But he's a PhD, so I guess that counts. But
yeah, that counts.
But yeah, so Jabril's right. Like we've had shows where, like, if the average person was watching this right now, they probably either fall asleep or leave the broadcast because we're talking straight science and not even being aware. Okay, we're on the show and other different types of people are watching.
Right. All right.
So I thank you again for being our guest tonight. When it comes to STEMLand, like, when did it start? Like, what's the actual beginnings of STEMLand?
Well, we actually turned 2 in July. So
congratulations.
2 summers ago, towards like the end of the summer. And I've just been working ever since. So we're still fairly new, but we're just trying to work our way to the top, slowly but surely.
Awesome. I think as a matter of fact, OMS was founded in July of 2015.
Okay.
So it seems like July is a good month to start a company or a nonprofit.
Summer's ending. We're like, hey, what can we do?
I'm trying to close it out with a bang.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's see here. Jabril, do you have any questions?
Yes. So, I pre-prepared them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you 4 themes and I just have a question surrounding them. So mentorship, access, resources, and security. Which is most important to the Black community and development of that in terms of infrastructure, and why, in your opinion?
Mentorship. I think mentorship is very, 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 very important. There's so many young men and young women out here that don't have anyone to go to talk to, or anyone to look up to. I just know when I was doing Girl Scouts, it was just so many young women that couldn't even focus. Like, it was so many times where we went to do the workshop and we couldn't, because it was so much going on in their personal life, and there was no one for them to talk to. And the fact that I was there, me and my best friend, we were there, and we're like, we can't just let this slide. Like, forget STEM, forget this workshop. What's going on? Like, let's really just sit down and talk. And that's why I'm saying mentorship is so important before you try to teach someone anything, before you try to tell someone anything, actually try to sit down and talk to them. And as a mentor, well, a good mentor, that is your resource. Or you can have more than one. You don't just have to have one. You have these people that you can go to and say, hey, I need this. And that's how I'm actually making it. I meet so many people that'll help me, and I will consider them as a mentor, because I'll go to them and say, hey, you know more about this. How can we work together? How can you help me help you help me? So I just think mentorship is very important, because I know, like, I could talk to my dad, I can call my mom today, tell her certain stuff, but we all need that other person to just go to, and to that you don't feel comfortable going to your parents about, because that's okay. Like, everything doesn't have to be
right. To your point, mentorship is such a vast and broad topic. Because you can talk about, like, emotional mentorship, professional mentorship, and in my case, technical mentorship. It's like, one thing that I'm striving to gain more of at my job and outside of is technical mentorship. People that work in what I'm either interested in or working in now, that have a high level of technical acumen. So the ability to execute whatever it is their field is, whether it be integrated ship systems, or fluid systems, or R&D. What do these play? Like how can I line myself up with these people so I can see the know-how, the coursework, the degrees? Then there's emotional mentorship, people that you can confide in about things that are going on, how they can allow you to really see, the greater hand that's in your life in regard to that, and help you to, like, get to a better place. And then professional, like how to be a professional. A lot of young people, particularly our people, we struggle with professionalism. Mm-hmm. And we think that professionalism can sometimes be synonymous with selling out, when it's not. To be professional, to be Black and professional, is that, Black and professional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not to try to sell out, to try to, like, cozy up to someone, because it's something to be said about those who do lose their Blackness in the professional realm, right, or put it to the side, or put it, to the back, on their back pocket when they're around certain people or in certain environments. So all of those are aspects of mentorship, like you were saying, that we really need to get a grasp of in order to advance our people and really society as a whole.
Right. I'm actually happy that you brought that up, because, like, that's important. Like, even I've learned, because I'm not gonna say like, I have never felt like I had to go, sit up and cross my legs and fold my fingers, because, like, I'm in a certain room with certain people, especially in all my grad classes. Like, I'm the only Black person, I'm the only Black woman. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like every time I talk, they're looking at me like, she doesn't, like, I don't have to be like, hi, I'm Aliyah, and this is how I talk. You can literally be yourself and be professional. Like, you don't have to go out of your whole character. And I'm not gonna say I haven't done it before, but I'm catching myself now where it's like, I don't have to do that. Like, I can just be myself and talk and speak well.
So. Absolutely. It's crazy. I just remember why I even mentioned that you didn't have a STEM background. I literally just remembered what the question was. I didn't even state the question.
I haven't remember.
But the question is, so how important is it for those who are not in STEM to actually help the goals of STEM? Like to help the actual goals of STEM? Like, even though like your background isn't necessarily in the sciences, you're still finding it necessary to assist in the goals of STEM. How important is it for others to do the same? And how can people get involved in STEM? People, a lot of people in our communities think that STEM is like like going to the White House or something. Like it's hard to get into or something.
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah.
I would say, like, you don't have to be a scientist to ask a question, to ask why. Like, you don't have to do that. And you don't have to be an engineer to make something. You don't have to be an engineer to create an idea or to be innovative or to be creative. You don't have to have that title. Like, this is one thing I'm actually learning in one of my grad classes is that, like, you don't have to be an engineer to make things or to create things inside of your classroom as a teacher. You don't have to say, let me hire her because she has an engineering background and she can teach as an engineer. No, you can actually hire me because I'm a very good teacher and I can actually teach this content of what an engineer would teach. So does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's science. If you really think about it, and if people like it really understood the words, what science means, it just means knowledge.
Right.
It just means and when you're a scientist, you're applying the knowledge.
Right.
So whenever there's something that you want to know about, and this is especially for those who are watching, just go out and find the information, learn it. You don't have to master it, but at least you know.
Right.
You know, and that's the whole goal of science is to know.
Mm-hmm. Like
if
people
you know it,
understand also literally like this your phone is engineering and science and technology and it's all made up of that. And once you see that, like we use math every day and I want people to understand that all four of the subjects are interchangeable. So one can connect to the other. You can have one without the other, but they all can connect with each other.
Absolutely. So, bro, you got something?
Yeah, you know, you all brought up really great themes. We do math every day, and you don't have to be in STEM to make or create. I want to bring up a word. It's called autodidact. I have two friends that identify as being autodidact. It simply is a noun meaning a self-taught person, typically by reading, voraciously or in excess or a lot. Everything is written somewhere. You can find it on the internet. It's in a book. There's a saying that goes, if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in the book. Now unpack that for a second. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about something that's readily accessible, a library, via the internet, something. But for those who like you and me, people now back in some era thought it best to hide things from us in a book, which means we don't seek out information readily. We don't seek to know, to understand our surroundings. And going back to STEM, what STEM really means to me, or what it really talks about, is there's a science to thought. There's a science to your methodology behind your method of doing things. There's systems integrated in all of any ecosystem or your environment that, when properly related to you, it garners you success. You see what I'm saying? So, like, there's something to be said about the scientific mind, whether you have a science background or not, that allows you to relate and be really interdependent with those. And if we as a people and other underrepresented groups and really as a society really understood that science, it really would propel us forward so quickly.
Right. And I completely agree with that. It's like when kids, like, I don't know what happens. I don't know if this just happens in like African American school districts or mainly predominantly black schools, but it gets to a certain age or like grade where it's like the love for math and science just stops. Like I don't know if it's the teaching, but I know for me it definitely was the teaching, or it was definitely like, you ever had those math quizzes like your teacher hand out 100 times tables on a thing and they time you whoever get done the fastest. Like I automatically shut down because I'm like, I know I'm not gonna get this done. So I didn't want to do it. And I knew I was never gonna win. So I was automatically like, no. Like sometimes that competition, or like everyone's like, oh, if you don't know the answer, you get laughed at. I'm just thinking about stuff that I experienced that maybe like I don't really want to do math, or I don't really want to do it because it's hard, or all these other kids getting it. Why am I not getting it? I don't know. It was just a really good point that you brought that up. I don't know what happens in elementary school that deters kids from science and learning science, but that's what I want to change. I want to show the different aspect of science, that it can be fun and it can be creative and you can actually have fun with your friends with it.
Well, family, before we continue, I'm gonna encourage all of our viewers to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the bell so that you're notified whenever we do have another live video up, or if we have another upload up. And we're actually coming towards the conclusion of the show. I want to make sure that we get as much information as possible in these next 30 minutes.
Oh, bro, so we're not rushing it, though? Just so we're not rushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Aliyah, could you give us the STEMLand Science Foundation information so that people who want to inquire, set up a session for workshops and everything can reach you all?
Yes. So our Instagram page is STEMLand Foundation. You can DM us. You can email us. Our email is STEMLandScienceFoundation@gmail.com. We also have a website, STEMLandScience.org. You can contact us on there also. If you scroll down to the Get Involved, you click on that red Get Involved, and you can send us a message there, and it'll come straight to our email. So there are ways you can get involved, but definitely follow us. I would say Instagram right now is like our most. That's where we are good at. We also have a Facebook. I'm working on getting more prevalent on Facebook because there's a lot of people on Facebook that we don't know about.
Right.
I actually use Facebook, so I'm trying to get that as a foundation also. But our Facebook is just the STEMLand Science Foundation. You can find us on there also.
Okay. And I did that because, sometimes we get so, I guess, in the weeds again with the high science or just connecting with one another. We kind of rush and put that at the end. And I wanted to make sure that everyone, got it. And we can do it one more time at the end. That way it's twice if people didn't get it. But yeah, I'm so excited. Like I said, I'll talk about it more offline, but to align, our two organizations or companies, as well as another company that I'm now working with in the Philadelphia area. I want to highlight these 3 tenets that you have for your organization: service, positivity, and focus. Why were those 3 picked? What is it about them that stands out in regard to your ability to impact the community?
Service, positivity, and focus. Definitely service, because I just feel like I was put on this earth to serve and to give back and to be kind and to be nice and to be positive. That's definitely one thing that I feel like that I do well, is always remaining positive and being positive, putting out that positive energy. You get back that positive energy. I'm a firm believer in karma, or whatever you put out in the world, you get back. And then focus, just remaining focused and staying on task. I know we all just get so bottled up in work, and we get tired, and just every day, I just feel like every day when I wake up, I have a purpose. I have a purpose to wake up, and I have people to serve and to help. And every time I serve, I stay positive. And whenever I get to wherever I'm going to help and to serve, I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay focused, and I'm going to actually know, hey, this is why I'm here. Let's focus on why we're here. We're here to serve. So.
Here to serve.
Here to serve. Exactly what.
This, it's something to be said about the servant mentality. A lot of times, we're overly concerned with receiving. What can you do for me? How can I get from point A to point B? But a lot of times, if you look at those who are successful, and it's not for everyone, but whether it's either at some point in time or consistently, those who are successful in business and, the scientists and school, whatever, usually are giving up themselves or giving up their mind, giving up their resources in some way, shape, or form. And that when you put things like that out into the universe, the science of that law states that it'll come back in some way, shape, or form. So it's not that you do it because of that, but it's just that's how things work. Right. If you're always taking in, you're not putting enough back out to come back around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, if it's not enough going out, you only going to receive but so much. So there has to be a balance. You know, you think about money. You know, I love this. You know, one of my ministers was talking about currency. And when you break the word down, currency, current, you talk about a stream. It's meant to flow. And what happens when you put something like rocks or something in it, it stops. So you think about people who hold the wealth in society and want to hold a large portion of it for themselves and not give it to other people. But that's not what it was ever made to do. It was meant to flow from hand to hand and really sustain society as a whole and have people to be able to have the resources that they need to survive and live. Because it's one thing to survive, to live on a certain plane where I'm just trying to get to tomorrow. But when you start to live, what you really start to do is you be able to actually express, you know, what, you know, God has given you in terms of like your attributes, and you're really able to engage life or engage the world on a whole nother level. So, you know, that servant mentality, I'm thankful. Thank you for bringing that up. It's so important. Right. So important.
Right. And just to add on to that, like the world wasn't, or the system just wasn't set up for us to learn and to succeed. So when they see a black woman or a black man teaching other black women and black men and seeing them being successful and seeing, they're going to try to stop it. So every day I know that it's going to be hard. Whatever I face every day is going to be hard, because they're going to try to stop me, because they're going to say, oh, she's trying to teach her own people. She's trying to make them smart. Oh, we got to stop that. Because that's not how the system works. It works for us to stay where we are, the level that we're at. They want us to stay there. So I just need everyone to know that, like, we have to educate each other. We have to help each other. We have to hang on to each other. Because it's so many people out here that's waiting for us to fail, and it's waiting for us to just stay where we are and to get attitudes with each other and to get mad at each other and to fight with each other and argue with each other. They want that. They love to see two black people fighting and arguing and killing each other. Because we're just doing it for them. We're helping them out.
Right. Advancing their system.
Well, once again, Aliyah, thank you so much for joining us on a Sunday night. We usually do our shows on Thursdays, but based on the type of guests we have, I made the accommodation. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
I'm interested to know your response to this question. This is something that we ask all of our guests at the end of each show. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm interested in knowing your response, or very interested in knowing your response, is because of everything we spoke about on the show in terms of still helping with STEM regardless of your background and this, that, and the third. What does science mean to you? If any one of your students came up to you and asked you, do they call you Aliyah or Miss Elijah?
Miss Aliyah.
Miss Aliyah, okay. So, Miss Aliyah, what does science mean to you? And just you personally, like, if they asked you right now, what does science mean to you personally, what would you tell them?
I would say science is everything. Like, look at the sky. That's science. Look at your phone. Look at your shoes. Look at the windows. Everything is around you. We just have to figure out how to understand how everything is made. That's science. Literally, is everything. Science is technology. Science is engineering. Science is math. Everything is interchangeable. Everything we do, every time we swipe up, is science. Everything has a mathematical equation. Everything is science. Science is everywhere. That's what I was saying.
That's the simplest answer. Like that's pretty much what it boils down to. So can you give us your social media information again, and how can people contact you directly?
Yes. So STEMLand Foundation on Instagram at STEMLand Foundation, Facebook, the STEMLand Science Foundation, and of course our website, STEMLandScience.org. Was that fast? I did go kind of fast.
One more time.
One more time.
We
right.
from Philly, so we gotta slow it down. We gotta slow it down a little bit. Okay. I got that. I got it. But I don't think the people got it. Because you whizzed through that on some real. Yep. All right. One more time. One more time.
So our Instagram is STEMLand Foundation. STEMLAND FOUNDATION. STEMLand Foundation. Our Facebook page. Just literally when you go to search, just put in the STEMLand Science Foundation and we will come right up and follow us, please. And our website is STEMLand Science, no foundation, just STEMLandScience.org. And you can also email us on there. You can contact on there, make some donations. Yes, that is us.
Awesome. Awesome.
Great. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching, this has been another edition of the STEM Files on OMS TV. But I'm not going to close out the show. I know my place. I do not close out the shows. My brother closes out the show. And you're about to see why. Go ahead, Jabril.
Hey.
Woo!
Let it go.
You know what it is. You know what it is. Thank you, sir. This has been another cracking open of the STEM Files. Y'all, I don't know about y'all. I'm kind of lit right now. I'm lit all the time, but right now in particular, I'm super lit. Thank you so much, Aliyah, Miss Elijah. Miss Elijah has like a ring to it, though. Like it just really does. You know? But anyway.
More personal. That's why we're like, yeah, just call me by my first name.
Right. Miss Elijah, though. I might have to like enforce that. Anyway, this has been another cracking about the STEM Files. It's been a great time. We learned everything from talking about blackness, talking about STEM, non-profit versus for-profit. Can you do both? Can you not do both? The what is needed in the black community regarding the STEM as a mindset, as opposed to, in addition to STEM as a background, a lot of core things talked about. So again, please subscribe, hit like, share this content for OMS TV. For our personal information for Original Man Scientific, you can reach us at our website, www.omansci.com. That's omansci.com. Our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is at OMANSCI_. And for our OMS TV, it's at OMS_TV. And for inquiries, you can do information at omansci.com. This isn't the last time you will see OMS and the STEMLand Science Foundation connecting. I plan to, move this, help to move this partnership forward. I'm excited about what you all have done, excited for what we're going to do together and what you're going to do, separately. But again, thank you so much. Y'all need to be watching this. For everybody not watching right now, y'all need to be watching this. But,
thank you for having me, though.
Absolutely.
I'm just so happy that I got to meet you guys finally. Awesome. And my silly name, we gotta talk, we gotta link, and we gotta get the service.
You ever been to Uncle Bobby's?
Yes, I go to
Uncle Bobby's. We about to hit up Uncle Bobby's. Okay, there you go. Yes, somebody that I can relate to on the show. Yes. Like, yes. He's a Carver grad, right?
Wait, where?
Mark Lamont Hill, he went to Carver.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he spoke at my graduation.
What high school did he go to?
He went to George Washington Carver High School of Engineering Science, like me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. Now you see how quickly that was, but you understood what I just said.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard. I'm trying to say it's hard. I went to Ghana in 2014. I'd never been so frustrated with speech in my life because I was asked to repeat things at least 20 times a day. At least.
All the time.
It was like, Kofi, slow down. Repeat yourself. And I was but everything's slow. Like we walk slow, talk to, but it's like it's a serene environment. I'm like that East Coast, like boom, like
Yeah, no, you're not the only one. Because it happens to me at work because I talk so fast. Everybody's like, what did you just say? I'm like, okay, let me just start again. And I had to literally slow my speech down. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why we talk so fast.
I don't know, but why can't you talk faster? Why can't you be here with it? You know
right.
What I'm saying?
Our brains move faster than our. I don't know. It's just a habit.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Y'all, I've had a great time. We always have a great time on this show.
Yes.
Tariq, I think we gave him enough. Bro.
Yeah. That's enough for right now. They can't handle all that at once. But our next guest is Mr. Damien. I forget his last name, but anyway, he's known on Instagram as the Wellness Mogul. I don't know if you got. Yeah, he's going to be our next guest. Next coming Thursday, he's going to be on the show, and we are definitely looking forward to that. I look up to him in many ways. Looking forward to having him on. Also, OMS TV, and this is something I wanted to say on the show as it's a surprise to Jabril as well. OMS is going to start the development of its own streaming platform purely for OMS science and education related material.
Yes.
Just like Netflix, you're literally gonna have the science and education version of Netflix.
Oh wow!
So, yes, hopefully that launches this summer. That's actually going to be our premier app. We're gonna try to make that premier app to grow.
Okay. So I can talk to Seth about that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, and we're just in the process of putting together the team. But just look for that this summer for those who are watching. This summer that's going to launch, God willing, by August. So August 2019, we're going to have an OMS TV app, OMS TV streaming service, and all of our old episodes will be put onto that as well. We'll be streaming live from that website on the new episodes after the app debuts. So definitely looking forward to that. But this, also, Aliyah, it's definitely open to you if you have any content, video content, or any educational content that you like to put up there. It's definitely open to you as well.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So once again, like my co-host said, thank you again for joining us tonight on the STEM Files. Once again, we're usually on live on Thursdays. So this coming Thursday, what day is that?
Thursday is the 28th. I know that because I have a mixer. So, yeah. So, no, but we'll work it out.
Okay.
You might be soloing while I'm making connections and networking. So, it's all for the greater good.
It's all good. Okay, cool. So, so the 28th, we're having our guest, Mr. Damien, aka the Wellness Mogul. Be sure to tune in to that. It's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we look forward to having you on that episode as well. Once again, thank you for joining us tonight. Peace.
Peace, family.
Peace.